All right, y'all. Today is a solo date day. All right. And that is when I take myself on a date. If you are in your 20s, if you are a person who is unpartnered, no kids, okay, do this for yourself. Because I remember being in my 20s and just thinking like, oh, I can't wait to have a family. I want kids. And then it clicked like, you know what? Those things will happen one day, but I will never be able to get this time just to be able to do me. And so I was very intentional about dating myself. Now, this is rare. I don't get to do this very much anymore now that I am a wife and mother, especially of 2 small kids. But every blue moon, I do try to get out and take myself on a date. So today, that's what I'm doing. Shout out to hubby for holding it down. And I am going to go see a movie that I'm so excited about. Homestead. If you are into homesteading, gardening, prepping, I think you might want to see this. So I'm hoping it's good. I'm into all of this stuff. Topic for another day, but I'll let you know how it goes. All right. Nobody is in here.
That was a good first date. We had fun. Or did we?
But it's all good. Okay,
much.
I really feel like a geriatric
Is it too soon?
millennial, but that's all right with me. I have my collard green juice that is phenomenal, amazing. So I'm looking forward to that. And it's going to be a good day. A good day. I'll check back with you guys and let you know what I thought of the movie. All right, y'all. I saw Homestead. Very, very good. Very, very good. I don't want this to be a spoiler alert, so I'm not going to share all the details, but I would kind of like to, but it's so hard because I feel like I need to talk to somebody about this movie just to process. So some initial thoughts, and I might have to just come back, okay? I'm processing because if you know anything about prepping and why people do, and kind of like the apocalyptic stuff, which I'm not too into, but I am into just overall preparedness. And one of the things that, this film reminded me of is just how unprepared we are for general emergencies. I'm not necessarily a doom and gloom, the world is going to end person, but I don't share this often, but I feel like spirit is tugging on my heart that we are, as a society, a little too dependent on things outside of ourselves, right? On technology, all of that stuff. And so probably over the last couple years, I've just had this weird feeling that we needed to, or at least I'll just speak for myself, I needed to learn more of my ancestral skills. That was hypercritical for a number of reasons, right? For preparedness things, and I think we saw that with the pandemic of just how quickly our supply chain, our food supply, our systems can shut down, and how dependent we are on them. And that's a bad spot to be in because no one knows, and so I've been really feeling like, dang, I need to just sharpen my skills for preparedness, but also just because it's better for us, especially when it comes to food, right? You can't go wrong with learning how to make fresh bread and to garden, so that you know where your food comes from, and you don't have to worry about God knows what that's in our food that is also attributing to so much disease in our body. And it's more harmful than it is helpful, just the idea of convenience. So I have been feeling led to get back to simpler living, ancestral wisdom. So I'm processing this, and this film specifically reminded me of that tug that I've had for some years. So it feels a little bit heavy. It does. Now, on one shoulder, I've got, it's just a movie, Chantel, But on the other shoulder, it's like, listen, like it feels like writing on a wall just a little bit. I don't know, but that's what it feels like. So this is kind of where I want to talk about the film. So if you don't want me to hear, if you don't want to hear this, just come back later, okay? It was so interesting that in the film, one of the families, had a Tesla. And first of all, let me go back. A nuclear situation happened. I'm trying to be mindful of my words here on this channel. A nuclear situation happened that caused a huge threat and disaster and disruption to a city. And everyone had to flee. Okay. One family got in their car, and it was a Tesla. And at this point, everybody is fleeing, and they had to stop because they got an indicator saying, you got to charge your battery. And so they stopped and pulled over because the car, I guess, was about to stop. And it looked like a very small convenience store / gas station where people were just like, it was wild. Everybody was trying to get gas. Everybody was trying to get food. And she had to stop. But then it was just like this weird thing where she pushed this button on the Tesla that was like some type of weapon defense button. And I was like, what is that about? Like, I need to, what's happening with the Teslas when it comes to that? So I got more questions and research I want to do around it. But nevertheless, it also just showed how having an electric car, what the downside is, right? Because in this event, you need to get around. You may not always be able to have a charging station, So that was the first thing. Another thing that, I've been seeing people do this for a while is talking about having the idea of a go bag. So in the event of an emergency, you already have some things prepared, whether it's food, water, clothing, essential documents, and it's ready to go so that you don't have to worry about if you have 5 minutes to get up and leave, you ain't gonna have time, So almost every family was prepared in this way that was in the essential, crew of the film. We're like, go get your go bag, So that was that. And then they all convened. They had a specific location that they knew in the event of a crisis or an emergency that they would all meet up at this homestead. And this place was, they knew, prepared for it all. So I guess I'll just kind of like stop there because wow, it was really good. There were definitely some, I would say, faith undertones, Christian undertones, maybe not even an undertone. It was pretty evident how faith, interjected into their beliefs and approach to trying to get through this situation. So that was beautiful to watch. It did kind of end a little weird though, because I was like, you just got to see it. It ended kind of weird. I was like, this doesn't really seem like the ending. But then you keep watching and, this guy comes on and he puts up a QR code and was like, this isn't the end. This is just the beginning. So at that point I was like, oh, it's going to be a part 2. And he said, this is going to be a series with more episodes to come. So I'm really curious how that's going to play out. And I'm pretty sure it's just going to be somewhere that we can stream. But anywho, he puts up a QR code and was like, hey, you go here, you know, give a few dollars, support others to being able to see this film. And then when you give, you are then given access to watching the first episode of Homestead. So I thought that was like, you know, pretty creative. You can tell this feels like a grassroots, you know, film. I wasn't quite sure yet if I wanted to sign up, but I sent it to myself just in case I actually want to go back and watch the first episode, which I really do, because you could easily tell that the film was nowhere near finished. Like, it had just got going, it felt like, and then it stopped. So that was the only part where I was like, dang. But it leaves you with this suspense of like, I want to know what happens next, you know? So overall, I would probably give it 4 out of 5, because I did want a little bit more closure. I'll save some parts of the ending just for you guys to see, but it did come out today. And yeah, I'm just like, I'm processing. I'm really processing. So either way, if you're going to see it, come back and let me know what you thought. If you have had any reservations, tugs on your spirit, just as I have, to just be more conscious about, you know, strengthening our general skills, would love to hear about that too, because it does kind of feel a little lonely, you know. And sometimes I'm talking to God, like, God, am I going crazy thinking about this stuff? You know, like, send me some confirmation. And then on the other hand, I'm like, don't you have it? You know, haven't you seen the stores empty? What was that feeling like when you saw, you know, baby formula gone, you know, and no bread on the shelf, and strikes happening? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wild. It's wild. So, that's it for me. There goes my self-date with myself. That was good. I really wanted to see this. My husband was not interested at all. So I'm going to head back home to the family, check on my sourdough starter, and do some things around the house and just take it easy. It has felt really good to not be on a schedule today. So I'll say that. So I'll say this was a date well spent with myself, even if it was just a few hours. All right. I am sending love and light to you guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll talk to you later. All right.